How's that sound? Is it coming through?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
Now
that's
I have to turn
beautiful.
beautiful.
off original sound.
It was beautiful.
Good. Thank you. That's a little Simcha. Good to see you. It's been a long time. I was hoping you'd be here for the Seder.
Are you going to introduce Barbara?
Yes, this is Barbara, noted musician, my co-leader of Machaya Klezmer Band, and my wife.
Yes. You mean
So
and
she's
your
actually
wife
leaving
and
Machaya Klezmer Band. She just
wife
called.
comes first.
Yeah, right. She sometimes comes to class on Mondays.
We don't see her.
James, good to see you there. I'm going to make you co-host.
What class do you have on Mondays?
Kabbalah,
What time is it?
6.
Oh, no wonder why. We eat dinner usually. We ate dinner earlier tonight.
So, so that was a test of the music, and maybe from time to time we'll play some music, and at the end we'll play some music. And but basically this is a Tu B'Shvat Seder.
Yep.
So everybody should have prepared or be preparing now the fruit, cutting it up into nice.
Yeah, I have it.
If you're alone, you don't have to cut it up. Just take a bite of fruit of each kind, 3 kinds of fruit, and 2 kinds of wine. Bottle of nice white wine.
This
My
is a
favorite.
Seder my girlfriend did years ago.
But you don't need. Yeah, for the Passover Seder, you just want red wine. But for the Tu B'Shvat Seder, you need a bottle of white wine, and then we mix and keep adding more red. And I'll explain what all that means as soon as I put down my accordion.
We start with the white, correct?
We start with the white. Yeah. And Simcha and I have been doing this Seder for about 40 years, right? Simcha. And here is my glass of white wine.
Great.
Now, I expect everybody to drink a full glass of white wine. I
Oh,
took just a little small cup because I got to lead the Seder, and I'll get totally confused if I have too much wine.
okay.
And although I may be just taking sips, it's up to you all to take a full glass of wine, hopefully a big Kiddush cup full of wine for each glass. Otherwise, you won't get the full experience of.
We'll work on it.
Yeah. So as we're waiting for people to come in, Jerry Garfinkel, who's our host and co-sponsor from the Jewish Study Center, had to leave. So
Oh,
he would usually do the introduction. And the major point is that the classes are free through the Jewish Study Center. This is officially a class, although it's a Seder. And but they do ask for donations to at jewishstudycenter.org, which is nice. And also same thing with the Contemporary Kabbalah Institute, which is our group that sponsors the Monday night class. And we'd love donations also at contemporarykabbalah.org.
no.
And uh, so, so we're going to be covering a lot in the next couple of hours. We're going to start with an introduction to Kabbalah so people know what's going on. You have 2 handouts there. One is a very simplified um, uh, tree of life diagram, which is the essence of Kabbalah, is this what's called the tree of life. And I'll talk a little bit about what that is for the newcomers. And the other is a program for what the Seder consists of: the 3 glasses of wine, 4 cups of wine, and 3 types of fruit. and I'll explain that in a minute, and then we'll do it. And this year will be a little different. We're going to have more guided meditation.
Good.
Uh, and so the meditations will be a little longer than the time to eat the fruit, which is what we've done in past years. And my introduction will be essential to understanding the meditation. Anybody who has a background in Kabbalah and knows is in the class or has a bit of a background, just raise your hand like this, or
Jane.
or you can do raise hand if you don't have your picture up. So, and the other people, I assume, do not. So I'm going to assume that everybody's a beginner. But as I'm always told, even the most advanced people learn things every time they hear the introduction.
That's
So,
right.
so starting point is, what is Kabbalah and what is the Seder? The Seder was originated in the 16th century. Legend has it by Isaac Luria himself, uh, and he and his disciples did this in Tzfat in the 16th century. Uh, and but the holiday is in the Talmud, in Rosh Hashanah, in the beginning of Masechet Rosh Hashanah, uh, and um, and it's celebrates the new year from the point of view of tithing, of giving to your 10% of fruit trees.
Mhm.
But the Kabbalists took that basic one of four new years in the Jewish calendar, but there was no specific religious significance other than to give your 10%. Uh, and But for the Kabbalists, it's much broader. It's the new year of the flow of the sap of the tree, of the flow of fruit, of the flow of sustenance into the world, called Shefa, Shefa. Shefa is the influence of God in the world, from the root from Hashpa'ah, influence, of the Hashpia to influence. Shefa is the influence of God in the world. And Kabbalah is not, as it's misunderstood to be, it's not magic, occult, or superstition. Kabbalah is a theology of Judaism, which was mainstream Judaism. Many of we scholars believe it was really mainstream for 400 years or more or less. Uh, and and really at its height perhaps in the 16th to 18th century, and then it was lost in Judaism because it became too controversial for anyone except for people who are learned in Talmud and in Torah. Then they could start to study Kabbalah and the Zohar, which was considered a book, the Bible of Kabbalah, that was as holy as the Talmud. Uh, and most of the customs and traditions were influenced by Kabbalah or stemmed out of Kabbalah. A lot of the rituals and ritual objects and ritual activities in Judaism have Kabbalistic significance that was either added or they were originated by, as this Tu B'Shvat Seder, it's totally originated by Kabbalists. It's a Kabbalistic endeavor. It didn't become a celebration of planting trees until the state of Israel was founded in 1948. Uh, and and then it later, in recent years, became
So,
an environmental celebration. None of that is in this Seder. This Seder is all about the renewal of the flow of God into us. So Kabbalah is, as it means, a receiving of the flow of God. And it's called Jewish mysticism mistakenly, because it's really a theology, because it enables Jewish mysticism, however, because the Kabbalists would connect to God by connecting to the flow of God into the world. And that flow of God into the world, called Kabbalah, the Kabbalah, to receive, the word means of receiving. And that flow is enables us to experience God in with four general themes. In many ways, but there's four core themes to the Zohar. And one is that we are partners in ongoing creation, that God needs us, we need God in order to create. And these 10 categories of flow into us, the 10 Sefirot, from the root for Sefer, book, or the Saper, to tell, or Mispar, number, all the same root. And it's the same root as the word sphere in the Greek. So it has a Greek influence in it. But the Kabbalists define these 10 categories of emanation into the world that enable us to be partners in ongoing creation. And we'll learn more about that as we open up the gates and receive the flow for each of those 10 categories of flow. But the second theme is the theme of holiness. That not only are we partners in ongoing creation with the divine by receiving these flows of wisdom, intelligence, and so forth that are on the handout in short form. That's this handout here. And but they enable us to become holy, make time holy, make places holy, make holidays holy. That's the whole idea of the Kiddush, is a making holy. And holiness is defined in Kabbalah as balance and harmony. So whenever the Kabbalists speak about holiness or making holy, they're talking about bringing balance and harmony into the world, preserving balance and harmony in ourselves, as well as everything we do. So that's the second world, the second theme, called, this is four worlds. And the third theme is the theme of ethics, that God flows into us the capability to decide, to determine, and be responsible for right and wrong, and for understanding what is good and what is evil. And I wrote a whole book on this, Understanding Evil and Ethics through Kabbalah, that explains that. And that's a course in and of itself. And we'll touch upon that when we get to the theme of ethics as a third theme of receiving. And that includes being able to identify our sins and being able to repent, bringing ourselves back into holiness is what repentance is, back into balance and harmony when we've fallen out of harmony and balance by sinning. And then the fourth and perhaps most important theme in the Zohar is the theme of discovery, called in religious language revelation. But the word in Hebrew is the same as for discovery, revelation. And the Zohar is all about achieving revelation, engaging in Torah, and drawing down new understanding of what Torah means to us. To them then in the 12th, 13th century when the Zohar was written, to the Kabbalists in the 16th century, the Hasidim from the 18th century to the present. And now today, our Contemporary Kabbalah Institute is working in its own way to help revive Kabbalah as a core of spirituality in Judaism.
Okay. We have James and several other people that are unable to get on. They're in some sort of a waiting room.
Oh, we were supposed to turn that off. Thank you.
I already took care of that. Is there somebody
here.
still waiting on it?
Okay.
Thanks, James. Yeah, great. You
It's
watch?
good, right?
Yeah, good. I didn't even see.
Sorry, I didn't. I just reading his. Okay.
I was asleep at the wheel before, but I figured it
I
out.
know.
Okay, so I should start from the beginning to this. So people who just came in might be a little lost, and we'll open this up to questions later. But to summarize, for those who came in late, um, we're doing a Kabbalistic, the authentic Kabbalistic Tu B'Shvat celebration, which is a celebration of the renewal of the flow of God into us, of the Shefa of God, the flow, the influence of God into the world. And Kabbalah is all about the emanation and interaction of these spherot as a theology of these 10 categories of emanation and the experience of our receiving them. So that's what I've covered so far. Good summary. And so um, the 10 spherot, we'll be learning that as we get involved in the rituals of the of rising up through this tree of life. This handout, which is much simplified. The and the if I can share screen for a moment. Did this come up? You see a nice colorful chart of the tree of life?
Yes,
Okay,
it came
great.
up.
This is more complete copy of what you have in shorthand there.
Is there a way for us to print that?
Yes. James can explain
Coming
that
shortly.
in the
Watch
chat.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do it myself, but you can print screen. And he can put a link to getting this yourself, which would be probably better than the copy. I'm trying to reduce it here.
Could you print screen from the computer? I never knew that.
I believe so. But he'll put a link to actually receiving this. I didn't want to make this too complicated for beginners who are joining us for the Tu B'Shvat Seder, so we developed this short version. But you see on the right side, these four worlds, the four themes, actually relate to groupings of the Sfirot. I'm trying to make this smaller so it'll all fit in, but it doesn't seem to get any smaller today. But you see these are the 10 Sfirot, and here's the four categories called
Excuse
world.
me, Jay.
Yep.
There is a way up here at the top, above Tiferet, the yellow. If you go up to the
There we
very
go. Now
top, it
it's working.
says there's like a plus and a minus where you can make it smaller
Now
or
it's
bigger.
on the screen. Can you all see that? Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome if you need
It's a
if
bit
you
too
need help. I
tiny.
know the computer quite a bit.
Okay. Thanks. So here is a comprehensive summary of Kabbalah in one chart. And you notice on the right side, in groups of threes are what's called the worlds, which I call partnering, holiness, ethics, and discovery, the four key themes of the Zohar. And in Kabbalah, they're called worlds of asiya, of doing, of making, of being. That relates to the first Sphira, Malchut, which is the ability to feel God's presence. And if you're new, forget the literal meanings of the names because they don't necessarily relate to the meaning of the Sphirot. And then holiness relates, which is Yetzira, of creation of something out of something else, like a craft or artwork. You're creating a new creation out of paint or out of clay or a new building, even out of, as an architect, you're creating something that of material that already exists. You're creating, and that applies in science too, of creating something out of ideas and information you already have. Ethics is the third theme, and holiness includes the yesod, which is righteousness, and awareness of our needs, in short, plus all these other meanings. But those are the core on your short list. Hod is motivation, and Netzach is principles and values and our purpose in life. Together, the four of these are the kavod, the glory of God, the glory of Tiferet, which is the holy name of God, is what comes out of that, our ability to be co-creators and to become holy. So holiness is a theme of Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. And the fourth theme, ethics, is kindness, power, and holiness. And if there's a shortfall in our kindness, in use of our power, then we have the potential for abuse of power. And that can bring sin and even genocide and the extreme, total evil. And we'll be talking a lot about Tiferet in the middle, the nucleus of this that balances the left and right side, all of the left and right, all three of these on the left and the three on the right, bringing everything into equilibrium and balance. That's holiness. And the fourth level, which our fourth glass of wine, will be on the unknown and discovering the unknown, by bringing wisdom into intelligence. So the right side and the left side of the brain, right arm and the left arm, the torso, the right leg and the left leg, you have the genitals and you have the feet, different parts of the body. So as we're doing our meditation today, the guided meditation, I might refer to different parts of the body that's receiving each sphera. So you could actually try to feel the flow of God coming into that part of the body, the wisdom coming into the right side of the brain, and the Bina coming into the left side.
Excuse me, Jay.
Yes.
I have a book which shows the body and which it comes right and left. I didn't realize I have done some Kabbalistic teachings.
Okay,
If you
thanks.
want, I could put it up so you could see.
That's confusing because it's all on the other side. So
Oh, you mean because it's reversed?
reverse, yeah.
Yeah, but it
That will
shows
confuse
you
a little bit, but hold
which
off
is
on
the
the
right
questions
leg and the left
until I
leg.
open it up for questions. So everybody should try to keep themselves muted so we don't have background noise. But that was a very
Okay,
good
I'll be
point.
quiet.
No, you've made excellent points. So what I do want people to interrupt, if we do music and it's echoey, it means I forgot to turn on the original sound. So someone has to interrupt me and say, the original sound isn't on, Jay. So I'll stop and start again. But right now, it's off, so it should be clear. Okay. So, and the reason I wanted to go through these four worlds is that this definition of the four worlds is Zoharic from the Zohar period, from the 12th and 13th century, and the triads of the Sphirot. And that makes more sense to me in terms of the Seder that we're going to be doing. But the 16th century Kabbalah and Hasidism that came out of that sees the lowest level partnership being Malchut and holiness being all of these six in the middle, ethics being, and the world of Beriah being Bina, and Chokmah being Atzilut, the highest world, discovery. But the Seder makes more sense because we'll be eating fruit, to use the Zoharic definition of this, because we'll be eating different types of fruit at each of these levels and coming up through the Sefirot. Okay. So now let me open it for questions. See if anyone has a question, since I have to share on. Okay. If not, then let's get into the Seder itself. As I mentioned, we'll be drinking 4 cups of wine, and we'll be eating 3 categories of fruit. And the fruit is, the first category is fruit that you need to remove a peel or break into a coconut, or remove the shell. That's generally inedible. But you can stretch that to something that you generally don't eat the outside of, even though it can be technically edible, like peeling a banana, or peeling any fruit it's not very tasteful to eat the peel of the fruit. And the significance there is that we've got to open the gates of the flow. For each of these 10 sfirot, when we say the Kiddush on Shabbat, to bring in holiness, we've got to open the flow from Tiferet, which is holiness, to Malchut, which is our ability to receive and feel holy. And Barb, a little bit of background noise here. Barb, could you cut the background noise? Yeah. Okay. And so, in order to draw holiness on Shabbat, as we light the candles and we say the Kiddush, we bless our children, we need to open these gates first with the Kiddush of the flow of holiness, and our ability to receive that is feeling the presence of God. The different names of God represent these different parts of God. One God, but different parts of God. Yud He Vav He, the holy Adonai name that we can't pronounce, we just say the letters Yud He Vav He, is holiness, but the Shekhinah is our ability to receive holiness and feel holiness and experience the presence of God and keep that presence for Shabbat. So with that, take your first cup of wine, all white, hold it as a Kabbalist would hold it, which is with the fingers like this. You've probably seen people hold a cup like that, because the fingers represent these 5 sfirot in the middle here: Chesed, Gevura, Hod, Yesod, Netzach. And the palm is, of course, holiness that's holding these. So one can dwell on that, focus on that, meaning as we open the gates with the Kiddush. And so close your eyes and just relax for a minute. Take some deep breaths. And feel the holiness in your torso. The center of your body becomes the center of the world. And feel that holiness flowing down into our ability to receive holiness. The Shekhinah. Feel your feet solidly on the ground. Feel the tingling of the ground coming up through your toes. the Shekhinah, the presence of God. We can't know the source, but we can know that feeling of closeness to Hashem. And just focus on that. Now slowly take a sip of wine. Just one sip and feel the tinge of that, and the wonderful taste of that muscatel or white wine. Let it dwell in your mouth. That's holiness coming in, opening the gates of the flow. Take another sip. And think for a moment about the theme of this first level of receiving, the theme of being a co-creator.
Pardon, did we do the blessing?
Please don't talk at the moment.
Sure.
We haven't done the blessing yet. We're going to do that in a minute, but thanks for the reminder. So just think for a moment, as you're just sipping that first sip of wine, about what you've done in co-creation, what you're doing now to be a co-creator. How are you using your flow, the flow of God that you receive to co-create? That's Malchut. And now we'll say the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei pri hagafen, who blesses, and by our blessing, God, we're opening the gates and God is blessing us. So now drink the whole cup of wine and feel the warmth coming down through you. When you're ready, open your eyes and come back. And thank you actually for reminding about the blessing. I had intended to, I had debated in my mind about whether to do it first before we even start sipping or when we drink the rest of the glass. So it was a good point made there. And maybe in the next cup we'll experiment by saying the blessing before. So now we've opened the gates of flow. That's the first cup of wine. And we move to the first type of fruit. Okay? And the first type is something you need to break into. Is this the first category? All of this. So you see I have watermelon here, and I have banana and avocado. Avocado is also type 2 because you can't eat the core. So you can reuse it for that if you don't have 3 categories for type 2. So take one of those, and you need to open it after we say the blessing. We'll say the blessing first for this. And then I'll explain it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei pri ha'etz, who blesses the fruit. And just concentrate on opening up the flow, as we just did with not physically opening the flow that the wine couldn't open. And hear the music
The original sound.
See?
I would forget to flip the switch, Jay.
Keep going. At this on, I have to go out of share screen in order to put on the original sound. Now taste the fruit. And dwell on that taste. It's the taste, the first fruit you chose is the taste of yesod. Here we're back again. Yesod is righteousness. So close your eyes. Take one of your types of fruit and taste that again. And think about the flow coming into you of righteousness. Righteousness is making things right. Tzedek. You say in modern Hebrew, tatzadek, you're right. So righteousness in Hebrew as in English is based on that sense of making things right. Joseph is the forefather of righteousness, who brings righteousness into the world, because he makes the whole world that's about to starve from famine. He makes things right in terms of survival. Then take another piece of fruit. I have the watermelon here. Take a taste. Do you want some
Original
fruit?
sound.
No. And dwell on the taste of that fruit. That's the fruit of emotion. And feel emotion coming in. Feel emotion flowing in. And the part of the body for holiness, for feeling hod, is the left leg. So just concentrate on feeling where you need motivation in life. Feel the motivation coming into your left leg. But now the question as we go up through the tree is, what are you motivating? And that's the netzach, the principles, adherence to principles. Our ability to formulate principles is netzach, articulate principles. Moses is the forefather that brings netzach into the world and into the people of Israel. He's the lawgiver, makes mitzvot. So as you take a third type of fruit that you need to open for me, I'll take a piece of banana. You want some? Take a taste of banana, and as you eat the banana, taste the banana, focus on the difference, the remarkable difference of taste between these three types of fruit. The righteousness, the yesod, the motivating emotions, the hod, and now the substance of this, the netzach.
Excuse me, Jay. Would a pomegranate be part of this?
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
Pomegranate's
you.
good. Good question. And so just close your eyes, concentrate on that taste, really feel that taste. And it's the taste of not only principles and our ability to make principles, but our ability to have purpose and meaning of life. articulate that. It's God speaking to us and giving us the ability to translate that speech, as Moses does to the speech of God in this week's Parsha, and through the whole rest of the book of the Torah, not just Exodus, but the rest of the Torah is Moses Netzach interpreting the word that he's receiving of Tiferet, of holiness, of harmony and balance, and how to make harmony and balance through mitzvot, through sacrifice, through observance of Shabbat. So focus now on the three together. What is the netzach that I am receiving? Ask. And how does that netzach become motivated? How do I motivate my netzach with hod? With emotion? It can be gratefulness, or it can be out of anger, or it can be out of joy, happiness, fun, love. And then how do I make the world better with righteousness? As we say again, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'etz. Now, we can do some music. We've now come up through the realm of the Sfirot to Tiferet, to holiness. And we've achieved the level of holiness. But we've tried to achieve the level of holiness. So, Barbara and I will do a short song as we say the Kiddush. Fill the second glass 50-50 with white and with red. So fill your cup of wine. For me, a shot glass. And get the white. Thank you, my assistant. Crucial in a Tu Shvat Seder or Passover Seder to have someone who's actually doing all the work. Okay. Let me hold it, and as you drink slowly this glass of wine, just close your eyes and think about receiving this holiness again, like we did before. But now it's including, we're celebrating. Let's think of this holiness as we are holy. You are holy because you have Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. You have principles, you have emotion to stick to them, and you are making the world better in Yesod, in righteousness. You're a balanced person. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'gofen. And we'll play something, dwell on this taste. Drink it very slowly as we play this slow song.
Original sound.
Original sound. Thank you. Oh, it's on. The original sound is on. you can open your eyes.
Original sound off.
I'm going to try to keep
Original
the
sound
original sound on. Let me know if it's echoey at all. I think as long as nobody else is talking, it's okay to keep. But if someone talks, you'll hear an echo of yourself talking if the original sound is on. And okay. Welcome, Adam. I'm glad you made it to the Seder. That's my son, Adam. Yeah, but okay. So now, what did we just do? We just did the second cup. So we're on the
Next level of food.
This is fruit with a pit and core. This is the second category of fruit. We can't eat the middle. We can enjoy the chef of the flow around, but not the substance, not the inner core. We can't really know the taste of the inner core. And so close your eyes for a moment, and we're moving up. I've got to share screen again. Here we go. Sorry, I'm not fast at doing this. There we go. We're back. So we're now moving up through ethics. So take one piece of fruit. I have my avocado here. And I like to salt the avocado just like we salt the egg and the parsley, or we dip the parsley in salt in the Seder. The salt is Yesod, is the foundation of the world, and salt is also the sea of Bina, discovery before we bring in wisdom and intelligence into it for discovery. So I'm going to salt my avocado. And before tasting, let's say the prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri ha'etz, the fruit of the tree. So take a taste of this first fruit. Close your eyes. Think about the difference in flavor of taste as we rise up, as we're tasting this, from Tiferet, holiness that we just celebrated with a cup of wine, to power. What power do we have? How is power a source from God flowing into us? Just focus on that taste. That taste is the taste of power flowing in. But power can have evil inclination attached to it, evil potentiality, if we abuse that power. So we need to take another type of fruit, take a taste of that. We call this chesed, goodness, kindness, compassion, altruism, everything that's good in the world. It balances the Gevurah. Without it, you have Pharaoh, you have Hitler, without an ounce of kindness. So think about, feel coming into your right arm. Feel the flow of goodness. And let that be balanced by Tiferet in the middle, by harmony, by holiness, and balance the Gevurah, the power. Just dwell on that for a moment. Now think about any sins you can remember where you've abused your power over children, power over employees, recently or over the past year or since Yom Kippur. I think of lots of examples myself. We do it almost every day, often without knowing it. With someone we meet on the street. We have too much emotion, we violate our principles, we have power over others, but we lose the compassion for a moment, forgetting that they're a human being, that they're a loved one. What organizations do I belong in where the mission requires power in order to accomplish the mission, but that mission can forget the value of the individual, the chesed. So just think about that in silence for a minute. Take a few deep breaths, flow coming in of kindness and compassion in the right arm and power in the left arm. You might think for a moment of this parsha, of the strong arm of God that's freeing the Israelites from slavery. Open the Red Sea. But that power can result in the deaths of a lot of innocent Egyptians. And the people have a lot of hod, of emotion, in seeing the Egyptians dead on the shore and being saved. And they celebrate. But the Mishnah and the Zohar question that celebration. Where's the chesed for the people who had to die? Same with the plagues. Where's the chesed? You have a Gevurah aspect of God called Elohim. And you have the chesed aspect of God called El. And they both flow into us through Tiferet, through Yud He Vav He, holiness, and through El Shaddai, the God of our protection, of our support, of our breast, and into Shekhinah within us. Just feel that flow coming down right to your feet. Now take the third glass of wine. You can open your eyes if you're meditating, or try to pour the glass of wine without opening your eyes. But you better do it over the sink. That was a joke. Okay. So I need red this time. This should be 3/4. This is the fourth glass? Third glass. See, if I have more wine, I'm getting more confused as to where we are.
3/4 red and 1/4.
Right. 3/4 red and 1/4 white. And what we're doing in adding red is, you see the red is Gevurah and the white is Chesed. And as we go higher and higher, we need more power to bring holiness. So we're bringing, but as we're rising up, we need less chesed. So this is mostly red now, pure, almost pure Kabura. The next glass will be almost pure Kabura. So focus on, again, as we drink this glass of wine, let's celebrate our reaching the level of Bina, of the upper mother, she's called, the sea of ideas that only needs wisdom for us to be able to draw that down into new revelation. Bina, intelligence, our ability to think. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagofen. And drink it slowly.
Do you want music?
Yep. How about okay. So now we're ready to go to the highest level. So prepare 3 kinds of fruit. I'm going to keep this on instead of taking it off and on. And
Are we on original sound or not?
yeah, we are. I'm going to keep it on original sound unless someone complains that it's echoey. But it shouldn't affect the talking. It just affects someone else talking. So we're now moving up to Atzilut, the level of emanation itself, the level of wisdom, understanding, and the highest level, the one in black, Keter, the unknowability of the source. Interesting aspect of Kabbalah from a theological point of view is that believing in God is irrelevant. There's no such thing as an atheist to a Kabbalist, because we can't know God. You can't know God, you can't not believe in God. So it begs the question of belief in God, but we can receive out of that black unknowable something we call wisdom. And the wisdom flows like a fast stream into the sea called Bina. Wisdom is flowing into our understanding, our intelligence, and from that, through Netzach, the ability to articulate the discovery, we can define what we're discovering. So we need the wisdom, the understanding, and then the Netzach to be able to put it into words or into numbers, into a publication, and then the Hod, the motivation to do that. So as you take a taste of this fruit that you can eat all of. I have a beautiful Strawberry is this part?
Raspberry.
Raspberry. Oh, wow. Get this raspberry. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'etz. Delicious taste. I could eat all of it. That's absolute culmination. So close your eyes, focus on that taste. Focus on the flow into the left side of your head, which is Bina. We'll take another piece of fruit. And that's Chokhmah. This is wisdom. Taste this fruit. Close your eyes and feel the flow coming down through the crown of your head, the Keter, the unknowable part of God, and feel the wisdom that's penetrating into the sea, the womb, called Bina. It's like it's fertilizing it. Think of it sexually. That's how the Kabbalists in the Zohar visualize this as a sexual union between the right side and the left side. So think of that, about that. Bring in some chesed, bring up some netzach to your right side, to the chokhmah. And on the bina, bring up some motivation, bring up some power, some hod and some gevura to be part of the left side. The left side is green, the bina, the intelligence, represented by the green on the Seder plate. And now take a third piece of fruit that will represent the source itself, Keter, the unknowable. As you take a taste of that third type of berry, or apple.
There's apple
Yeah.
and grape.
Oh, and grape. I'm going to have a grape. And just taste the unknowable. It's feeding and opening the chokhmah. There wouldn't be chokhmah without a beginning in Keter. Keter, the crown, stimulates the beginning of wisdom. The beginning of wisdom is awe of Yud He Vav He. Awe of Tiferet, of balance and holiness, is the beginning of wisdom. So close in your eyes and feel that Chokhmah and Bina combining. Try to quiet your mind and just dwell on the taste, the juiciness of that berry or grape. Everything comes together. When you're ready, open your eyes and fill your glass full of just red wine with just one drop of chesed. And hold it nice and high. We've reached the height now. We've reached Chokhmah. Can't reach Keter, it's unknowable. But we've reached all the way to Chokhmah. And we celebrate what we've discovered. So before sipping the wine, think about what you've discovered tonight about Kabbalah, about spirituality, about the flow. Think about what else you discovered in the cold, in the snow, and the beauty of the snow today in Washington, D.C., where I am. It's really ice. What did Barbara and I discover last night? I'm thinking, and we did a wonderful concert in what we call a Klezmer Club, at a local restaurant with our whole band. And I feel a hold of gratefulness for that discovery. Any success in life is a discovery. It's a revelation. I'm thinking also about the Parsha this week and what I discovered. I discovered the meaning of manna. Manna was given by God to the people to give them sustenance, to give them flow, shefa, to give revelation. Manna is shefa. Makes sense. As I was reading that yesterday. The manna, we receive as much as we need and no more, just like shefa. God gives us as much shefa as we need, but it's up to us to draw it down. So draw down that wisdom where you need it. Apply it to what in your mind is uncertain, is facing the question, what do I do next? How do I solve this problem? It's been stymieing me all week, plaguing me. Slowly drink the wine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Okay, so that completes the Seder. I now want to turn off the original sound and open up for questions. And thank you to anyone who asked questions during the session, because they were all good ones. And
That was all dark. Wow.
so now I have to go out of share. I have one complaint on this,
Did you do the
on
four
Zoom.
corners of dark?
Yeah. Just a minute, I have to stop share.
Because it doesn't look like it's all dark. Maybe it is.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get rid of the share. Stop sharing. Okay, there we
Got
go.
rid of the share screen.
I just got
It's
rid
no
of
longer there.
Yeah, now let me turn off. So my big complaint about Zoom is they made it harder to turn off the and on the sound, and you can't do it when you're on share. You have to get out of share in order to turn off the original sound. And the same thing in reverse.
No, you don't. You go over to where it says audio.
Oh, audio. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I
Really
told you
been
I
a
know.
help. You got to join our class to help me with the Zoom.
Well, then let me know when it is.
Yeah. Um, Shoot, here is this, and where is the sound? Original sound. Remove there. Now people can talk without it echoing.
Okay.
So if we have time, Barbara and I can do some more klezmer music.
The klezmer music was awesome. I just wanted to say thank you. I have asthma and I feel bad going to people's tables this time of year because the cold makes it worse. And I'm just coughing and coughing. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm not contagious. I'm just sound like I've been smoking for
Yes.
20 years. So thank you for this class.
Very healthy. Thank you, Miriam.
Distracted you from your coughing.
Yeah. No, it was great, and none of us got any germs, so don't worry about it. That's the beauty of Zoom. So, but we tried to make this a hybrid session. It would have been great, but the room was taken at Verbringen, which we rent space from Washington Ethical Society, who's the third sponsor of this program, this ritual today, Tu B'Shvat Seder, and so we couldn't have it in person. Simcha, are they having something at TI tonight? Tiferet Israel across the street? That would have been a good place to have it. Yeah,
We weren't, I don't think we were doing anything this year.
yeah. Other
And besides,
congregations,
with all the snow, people can't drive. Well, they can drive, they can't park. So,
yeah, that's a big problem. I went to Shul Bethel congregation in Montgomery County here on Saturday and couldn't find a place to park. Had to come home. Ended up on Zoom and for Brengen. So, okay. Anybody have any questions about Kabbalah? It was a very quick introduction to Kabbalah. It can be very complex, but we try to make it as simple as possible for the Seder and for the same thing we do with the Passover Seder.
So what is the class that you give? You said on Mondays at 6.
Okay, based on this session, you now have passed the prerequisite for the advanced class every Monday. We have a free class sponsored by the Contemporary Kabbalah Institute that is a study of Zohar uh, based on the Parshat Shavua, on the weekly Torah portion. So we study the Torah portion 6 o'clock, 6 to 7:30 every Monday, and we ask ourselves, how would a Kabbalist understand this? And we can talk about this week's Torah portion in a minute. How would a Kabbalist understand this? Because this is the class for this week. We have no class tomorrow, but next Monday everybody's invited.
Do you want to put the link on chat?
Yeah, uh, yeah, James can put the link on chat. It would be nice if you have the link for not for this class, but for our regular link. It's the same link every week, and then you'll have the link. But Jerry will be sending out a follow-up email, and he may remember to put the link for the class in there as well as an invitation to join the class. So that's the first thing we do is study the Parshat Shavua, the Torah portion, from point of view of how would a Kabbalist understand this, and then we look at Zohar and what does Zohar actually say about that, and then have a tefillah portion, interpreting different prayers from the point of view of tonight's program of receiving and the symbolism, the anagogies of, as it's called, the symbolism the Zoh of the Zohar as it relates to the Torah portion. What does it really mean? And then finally, we do a guided meditation of about maybe 5 minutes. Yes, Lynn, good to see you. You have to unmute to talk.
There we are. Okay. Hi, thank you for this. This was beautiful. I'd like you to talk a little bit about Kabbalistic understanding of time, because you talked about becoming holy through time, through place, through what, all those different. And when I went through that in the third cup, I cried and I was like so surprised at myself. And it had to do, but I didn't understand it. I didn't understand about, you were saying things that you've done wrong through like the past year or since Yom Kippur, but it was like time flattened for me. And it was like all these different times all came together as one. So I was wondering, I
That's
don't
a
know.
good question, Lynn. Yeah, thank you for asking it. And the Kabbalah has a lot to say about time, and that the Abraham Joshua Heschel, the great closet Kabbalist, as I call him. My first dissertation was on Abraham Joshua Heschel as the closet Kabbalist, and then I switched to the Kabbalah Center versus Jewish Renewal, with their respective approaches to receiving. But time is to Heschel was a palace of holiness. We create that palace of holiness by the Kiddush and by going to services. That Shabbat is a time of holiness, of holiness. It's holiness in time, and it's true for every holiday, and that's why we say the Kiddush at the beginning of every holiday. It makes us holy, and it makes the time holy. So thanks for sharing that. It makes me cry too, thinking about that. Uh, so, especially when I'm having a very holy spiritual experience winning pots at poker, and then I get a bad beat, which happened just the other day. The person who gave me the bad beat, I had aces full of tens full of eights full of tens, and he had tens full of no of aces on the last card. He beat me,
Yeah.
and my tens full of eights, and then he was wondering why I had to run off right after that hand, and I said I had to go to play music yesterday. This was all just yesterday, and to our concert last night, and so he decided to come, and he filmed the whole concert on his phone, and really loved it. Was really moved by it. So that's holiness and time.
Is that the Song of Songs last night? Yeah.
It's too bad if few of you are here in the Washington area could come see us. We're doing another concert on Tuesday at Revitt's house, a senior home here in the Washington area. So, Ron, if you want to come to that and help out, that'd be great too.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Ron came last night too and was very helpful, leading the dancing, and he plays accordion. So, and he came last night. Any other questions about Kabbalah? That was a really good one, Lynn. Nadine, you have beautiful hair. It looks very like an angel. The hair or the whatever you're wearing around your neck. Is that
No, that's my hair. Thank you.
The hair, yeah. It's, Beryl, it's great to see you. I'm glad you made it. Do we have any rabbis here tonight? I noticed a few had come in that may have questions on Kabbalah that might relate to something in in your in your congregation, in your work.
By Sachs, her hand is up.
Rabbi Joan Sachs. Yes.
No, I didn't have any, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to thank you for this enjoyable session. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel badly that we don't include any environmental, but we just don't have time. And one year we tried to do that, and it was just too much, too distracting. We had readings and so forth, an environmental theme, but so we stick to the traditional Seder.
I find I have seders of different lengths, depending on the group, and different types. And so this is one type. So
Yeah. So a question that I've been thinking about is the question that we would be addressing in tomorrow night's class, if we were having class, which is in Parshat B'Shalach, going out of Egypt. What's the Kabbalistic? How would a Kabbalist interpret this, understand this? We call it Halkuth. How would a Kabbalist understand this? Anybody have any thoughts on how a Kabbalist would understand B'Shalach, going out the Parsha that was read on Shabbat this week? So I'll throw out some ideas for discussion on this. It starts with, in sending out, B'Shalach uses the term sending out the people, not just freeing, but sending them out from Egypt. And Elohim, the name of God for Gevura. See, to the Kabbalists, each of the names of God relates to different sfirot, and it opens up whole new levels of understanding of the Parsha. So it's Elohim. Gevura is saying, don't go and address the Gevura of the Philistines to the north along the coast, and go southwest towards the Sea of Reeds of the Red Sea. It turned out to be a drastic mistake because the Jews were trapped. Pharaoh's heart was hardened by Yud Hey Vav Hey, by Tiferet. So he lost balance. Pharaoh lost balance and recruited the armies to go after. So that's interesting because it showed a shortfall of Chokhmah. So Kabbalists immediately say that teaches us about understanding our shortfalls of wisdom. But too much understanding of how to do something and too much use of our intelligence without the wisdom in it. Whether you're a doctor doing an operation that's not necessary because you know you can do it and you'll do a great job, but is it really the best, the most wisest thing for that patient?
Mm-hmm.
Or in legal ethics, you're suggesting a strategy that may make you look good because you have the knowledge of how to do it, but it may not be best for the defendant that you're representing or for the company. It's better to settle. Yeah, Lynn.
To me, I saw it so differently. I saw it out as, what'd you call, how do you pronounce Shefa?
Shefa, the flow, yeah.
Yeah. I saw it as flow. I saw the people as a unit as pulling in and flowing. I saw the Pharaoh pulling in and flowing, and how they combined was up to the Hod and Netzach of both groups. I mean, that's how I read it.
Well, that's beautiful. I love that. And another aspect of Hod and Netzach is that the last part of the Parsha is about Amalek. There's a section on manna, which is like the Shefa,
And then Amalek.
really of theme, Kabbalistically, of the whole Parsha, as you mentioned it. But then you have this strange passage about the Amalek attacking the people from the rear, and they went to battle against Amalek, which one relates to the beginning. They avoided the Philistines, but then they got attacked by Amalek. So it's sort of, there's a message in there with regard to wisdom, and you're going to have to fight wherever you go, whatever the message may be. But in order to prevail, um, Joshua and who was the other? I can't remember the name of the two lieutenants of Moses that had to hold up his arms, and he prevailed is when both arms were held up. Well, the arms are Hesed and Gevurah. So you need your Netzach and Hod holding up your Chesed and your Gevurah in balance in order to prevail against your enemies, whether it's figuratively prevailing or whether it's physically prevailing. So that's a beautiful Kabbalistic interpretation of that. So, Lynn, thanks for sharing that about the beginning. That's part of that same theme of Shefa and everything moving and flowing. In the Zohar, they're the companions of the Zohar, which represent Netzach and Hod, the purpose and principles and motivation in the world, Netzach and Hod. They're always walking and moving or riding, approaching, moving to something. And that represents the striving for a revelation. And they're always feeding each other, and using that metaphor of the verb feeding and eating as receiving revelation, which is why in English I like that acronym of the PHED for partnering, holiness, PHE, ethics and discovery, fed, because that's revelation. It's achieving revelation. Haven't figured out how that would work out in the Hebrew yet, but so. Any other comments on the Parsha or on any other comments on what you might have gotten out of the Seder?
It was lovely. I had never been to a Seder before. So I want to thank you. I liked it.
You're very welcome.
But I have to leave you now. And I'll look forward to next Monday.
So perhaps James had a chance to put the link in. You can copy it, the link to the class on Monday. But I hope several of you will come and join us. You automatically become a member of the Contemporary Kabbalah Institute if you come to the class, and we add you to the mailing list. You can also send me. Oh, this is important. If you want to come to the class, send me an email to jay@contemporaryKabbalah.org, JAY@contemporaryKabbalah, KABBALAH, and with your email address. So you'll be able to receive the handouts, just like we sent to this class. The handouts are a section of the Zohar that we'll be discussing, and the photocopy of the Siddur if we're doing a prayer. Anyone interested in joining the class on Monday?
Jay, I might. I'm not sure. Is there a fee for the class or how does
No,
it
it's
work?
free. It's free. Yeah, especially for students and retirees and people who can't afford a donation. It's free. Or for people who can afford a donation, but it's also free. So it's free for everyone.
I don't do donations on the computer. I send people checks. We've had too many problems. My husband had to get a whole new credit card.
Wow.
Someone stole it from him. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't
So that's why
uh,
we send checks
use
instead.
Square, but yeah, you just don't know on most sites.
Yeah, I've been doing some Kabbalistic. I go to classes usually Sunday to Thursday. I go
Oh,
to, matter of fact, I almost forgot I have a class at 9:30 tonight, probably. I'm not sure. That's from Palo Alto, California. And I
really?
also go to a class in St. Martin.
I went to Stanford University in Palo Alto.
Where?
I went to Stanford in Palo
hmm
Alto.
Do you know Rabbi Levin? Joseph Levin?
No, no, he
He
was.
does classes Sunday night where he does memoirs, and on Thursday night he does a Parsha class.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
If you need any help with the computer, I know my way around it quite well.
Oh, Dan, I might call on you that we got the guy um who videotaped the whole concert last night.
Oh, that I don't know how to
Yeah,
do.
he says he doesn't know how to send the videotape, so maybe James can help us with that. Uh,
Do it.
yeah, and then we can put that up on the Machaya.
James, is that actually snowing by you?
Not anymore. That's just video of it.
That's video of it.
Yeah, it's nighttime here.
Well, it's nighttime here too for me.
Well, the snow has been atrocious in Washington this week, and it'll probably last until March, people say, because it's solid ice. We got about
Yeah,
four
I still have ice here
and
and snow too
inches
in New Jersey.
of
Well, yesterday my wish came true. We were supposed to have snow today, and it didn't snow. Yesterday was my birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, we had two birthdays at the
I
Klezmer Club last night.
Yeah, I made it very easy for people for my email. It's my name and my birthday, 131 at AOL. That's how easy I
Yeah,
made it.
I'll write that down. Diana Friedman.
No, it's just Diana
Oh,
and 131 at AOL.com.
oh, another AOL user. Diana, Diana.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Princess Diana.
So I'll add you to the list for the class, so you'll be getting
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah, you'll be getting the mailing. It usually comes
Okay.
Saturday or Sunday every week. So if people don't have other questions or comments,
I enjoyed the Seder very much. It was different from what I've been going to. I was following along a little bit in the Seder book that I had. Some
oh,
of the things, some of the things you were saying were in here.
yeah,
So it was interesting. Yeah.
who wrote that one?
Um, Tolly Ann Katz. This is from, I think, like 2021. She wrote the booklet and she does a Tehillim class on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on Zoom. And whoever went to it who wanted to go to the Seder, we actually did a whole entire Seder. We went through this whole entire book. We did the seven species, the wheat and the barley, and then each of the different fruits and vegetables and everything. And I've also been to Tu B'Shvat Seder at my temple and also in Highland Park. I've been to a number Tu B'Shvat. The main thing that I really miss is that they can't get any more is carob. I used to love that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There used to be a store in Highland Park. She gave up her store because she was there for 20 years. She used to get the carob from Israel. And the way that it made it easy to eat the carob, because I know it's hard like a rock, you soak it in hot water. And it made it like gum to chew.
Yeah. Oh,
That
yeah.
was the
We
trick.
never had it. That's
You
great.
never had carob?
No. Well, I gotta end the class.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay, sure. No,
thank you
I
everybody for
understand.
coming.
It was nice talking.
And I hope to see all of you next Monday.
Thank you.
Okay.
I got
Yeah.
carrot chips from Whole Foods.
What did you say, Simcha?
I got carob chips from Whole
Carrot
Foods.
chips. Yeah.
From Whole Foods?
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we have Whole Foods here. Thank you for letting me know, Simca.
Chag Sameach, everybody.
Ach Sameach.